baseman batting second, Joe Lamb. The shortstop for the Great Danes, Eddie Scott, bats third. He's in center. Jake Toms is the DH batting cleanup. Tony Valone is in right field. He'll bat fifth. Dan Schoonmaker is the first baseman batting sixth. Then it's Pat Delaney in the seventh spot. He's at third base. Fred Estes is the catcher, bats eighth. And finally, the number 9 hitter, Craig Farley, is the left fielder. Mike Collar on the mound for the Maine Black Bears. Again, he's 4-2 as a 4.11 ERA. This is his 8th start of the season, his 9th appearance, and here is the first pitch from Mike Collar. And he misses outside with a cutter for ball 1 to Matt Crudo. Crudo coming into today's action, batting 179, starting his 25th game. Second pitch to Crudo is in there for a strike, so the count is 1-1 to the leadoff batter for the Great Danes.
And nice to see Alan Picard behind the plate again, too, for the Black Bears. He hasn't been there for a long time because of that hamstring injury.
And the hamstring injury, and then, of course, he was still suffering the effects of a shoulder injury from last season, which kept him out from behind the plate. But appears he's getting closer and closer to 100%, so Coach Costa gets his number 1 catcher back behind the plate. 2-1 count to Crudo after the ball thrown by Collar, and it's fouled down the right side and out of play beyond the bleachers down the right field side, beyond the Albany dugout, so that'll even things at 2-2.
Maine so far this year, when Picard behind the plate, their record is 11-1, and they're 12-11 when it's Joe Drapo or Aaron Isaac behind the plate.
Last season, when the injury started hitting the Black Bears, it really caused the upheaval around the infield. This season, a much deeper team, and one of the guys contributing lately is Brett Willett, coming off an injury, and he makes the play on the line drive off the bat of Crudo for out number 1. Crudo lines out to the second baseman Willett, 1 down, and that'll bring us to the number 2 batter, Joe Lamb.
Brett Willett's been playing some very good baseball at that second base spot over the last few weeks, and doing so relatively healthy now, and getting it done in the field and at the plate. It's been a big lift for the Maine Black Bears here since coming back from the spring trip.
Mike Collar's first pitch to Joe Lamb is a slider on the outside corner for strike 1. Joe Lamb, the shortstop for Albany. Lamb is a .319 batter, 1 home run, 22 RBIs. Collar misses with the fastball. The count now 1-1 to Lamb.
You know, Mike Collar wants to come out here and really, come back and get on in the win column after that loss last week against Vermont, the first time he's ever lost to an American East school.
He misses down low with the 1-1 pitch, so it's now 2-1 on Lamb. Of course, Mike Collar last year 8-0, American East Rookie of the Year. Started off this season very well, has pitched very well all season long, gets the slider in there again for strike 2. He's even with Lamb. Suffered his first loss against Clemson. Nothing to be embarrassed about there against the highly touted Tigers. And last weekend losing to Clemson. Here's a slow roller hit to shortstop. Mike Ferrucci in there for game number 1. Charges and makes the play. Throws on to Pat Tobin. So 2 up, 2 down for the Great Danes. And that'll take us to the number 3 slot in the Albany order. That's Eddie Scott, the center fielder. Scott has had a great season. Batting .331, has a home run, 21 RBIs, also has 12 steals for the Great Danes, right-handed batter. Facing the big right-hander, Mike Collar. One of the most impressive stats for Collar is strikeout to walk ratio, 39 Ks, just 7 bases on balls.
Interesting to see what the wind does today in terms of how it affects the ball. We heard Coach Costi talking in the pregame about how both teams have to deal with it, but it is a strong wind here at Maine Diamond. Look at the flag in left center field, and it's blowing straight in.
Collar misses with a curveball, then gets the fastball right in there to Scott. So it's 1-1 to the center fielder. Should Scott reach, the DH Jake Toms is in the on-deck circle. Here's the wind and the pitch by Collar, just missing inside. 2-1. Maine defense, Drapo at third, Ferrucci at short. Willett is the second baseman. Pat Tobin at first. The outfield left to right, Simon Williams, Mike LaVolpe, and Aaron Young. Alan Picard behind the plate, and here's the pitch by Mike Collar. It's a breaking pitch. It's slowly on the ground, foul, past the third base coach's box. So again, Mike Collar has a 2-2 count to an Albany batter. It's gone 2-2. The first 3 batters in this ball game. Here's the windup and the pitch, and it's just inside. Boxed around there by Alan Picard. It's a ball, so the count is full now to Eddie Scott. Mike Collar has given up just 45 hits in his 46 innings of work. Another impressive stat. Hits one right back to the box is Scott. Fielded cleanly by Collar. Throws on to Pat Tobin for out number 3. So Mike Collar has a 1-2-3 inning against the Albany Great Danes. Field, Alan Picard getting the start behind the plate, as we said earlier. His first start behind the plate in quite some time. Picard in the number 2 slot. Mike Ross is the DH. He'll bat third. Joe Drapo is the cleanup hitter. He is at third base. Pat Tobin gets the start at first. He'll bat fifth. Brett Willett is the second baseman batting sixth. In the number 7 slot, it's Mike LaVolpe. He's in center field. Mike Frigid, the shortstop, bats 8th. And Aaron Young will be in right field, and he will bat 9th. Our starting lineups brought to you by the 74 against Adam Croft. 6'4", 220 pounds. Boston Lake, New York. First pitch from Croft is a fastball in there to the leadoff hitter, Simon Williams. So strike 1 to Williams. Simon having a tremendous sophomore season, batting .389, 7 home runs, 30 RBIs. Right-handed batter from a deep crouch takes a breaking pitch down low for ball 1. Red Sox coming up right after University of Maine baseball, game number 1 here on AM 620. Sox taking on the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Derek Lowe gets the start, another breaking pitch from Croft. Simon Williams swings through it for strike 2. Sox winning last night 4-2 behind the pitching of John Burkett and the power of Manny Ramirez. Here's a lob down the right field line, a dive by the right fielder Valone. It's going to get by him. It's a fair ball. Williams hits second base. He's heading for third. And the speedy Simon Williams will slide in safely, and he's got a leadoff triple for the Maine Black Bears.
An easy triple that time for Simon Williams. He hit that ball down the right field line and Valone ran over, and really wasn't that close. Dove for it, came up short, and then as he went to get up, he stumbled and fell back down again, and that really allowed what could have been a double to turn into a triple.
You could see that was going to be trouble for Valone right off the bat, fading away from him, and the wind, of course, howling in from center field may have pushed it towards the line even more. He made a late dive for the ball, but no chance, and the speedy Williams is in at third to lead things off for the Black Bears. The first pitch to Alan Picard is a ball from Adam Croft. So 1-0 to Alan Picard, batting .419. 4 home runs, 36 RBIs from the left side. Here's the pitch from Croft. It's hit hard to the right side. It's going to get past the second baseman, Crudo, on into right field. Boxed around by Valone. Picard's going to try for second. Here's the hit for a slide, and he is out. The run has scored, though. Simon Williams crossing home plate. Alan Picard taking a chance with the ball right in front of him. It was bobbled by the right fielder, Valone, but he quickly recovered and threw a strike to second base, and they nailed the sliding Alan Picard for out number 1.
You hate to see it getting out there, but I thought it was a nice aggressive play that time by the Black Bears because the ball was bobbled by Valone out there in right field, and Picard never hesitated. As he came to first base, he was being waved all the way and never hesitated. Got to second, was going to take a great throw in order to get him, and that's exactly what they got.
Mike Ross, the next batter for the Maine Black Bears, tried to lay down the bunt down the third base line, but it went foul. Ross, the senior co-captain along with Jesse Carlton for the Black Bears. Ross, the lone senior on this Maine Black Bears squad. The 0-1 pitch from Croft is a breaking pitch that stays outside, so the count is 1-1 to Maine's DH this afternoon. Mike Ross coming in with a .314 batting average, 6 home runs, 34 RBIs for the Black Bears. He takes a pitch outside for ball 2.
The thing I like about, trying to get Picard to second is with the wind blowing the way it is, you're going to need to get runners in scoring position, and because it'll be a base hit day. There'll be no balls hit over the outfield. They're blowing so hard. It's straight in from center field that somebody's going to have to put an awful lot of juice behind it to get it out of here.
A couple of balls thrown by Adam Croft, so it's ball 4 to Mike Ross. He'll trot down to first base. So 1 on, 1 down for the Maine Black Bears. And that'll bring up the third baseman and cleanup hitter for the Bears, Joe Drapo, junior from Biddeford, Maine. Drapo having another nice season for the Maine Black Bears, a mainstay in the Bear lineup, .368 batting average, 8 home runs, leading the team, and 41 RBIs, also leading the Black Bears. Takes a big hack at the slider from Croft, comes up empty. Strike 1 to Joe Drapo.
Be curious to see if they send Ross and all. He's 13 for 16 stolen bases this year, and again, with that wind blowing in, you're going to have to make a good, strong, accurate throw to get it to second.
Ross bluffs towards second base. Now a throw down to first by Estes, the catcher. But Ross gets back in there with the right foot. It was a swing and a miss by Drapo, so strike 2 to Joe. The running Bears leading the America East Conference in stolen bases with 61 as a team. Throw to first by Croft. Lob over to the first baseman, Schoonmaker. Maine looking to rebound from last weekend's 4-game series against the Vermont Catamounts. Drapo fouls one straight back over the backstop, so the count holds at 0-2. Tight games down there in Vermont. Very good pitching by the Cats. They prevailed in the series 3-1. Maine and Vermont tied atop America East at 5-3. Vermont, of course, would have the tiebreakers. A line drive and snag by the shortstop. Ross is going to continue on to second base, but that's going to be a double play as the shortstop, Lamb, lunged to his right and made the stab, and Ross was off with a pitch.
Check out the new Cooper Lifeliner Touring SLE. The Bangor Tire and Cooper tires, you'll drive on.
You've got Maine Black Bear Baseball in the Sports Zone. WZON Bangor.
Ready for inning number 2, Jim Churchill, Clem Labrie from Haney Diamond, Mike Collar on the hill for the Maine Black Bears. Gets a strike in there to the first batter. He'll face her in the second. Jake Toms, the second pitch, hit on the ground, right to the first baseman. Pat Tobin, he'll take it himself and retire Toms on the second pitch of the second inning.
Good start from Maine here in the top of the second, and getting quick out there. Mike Collar was pretty efficient in that first inning, throwing 16 pitches, and that's one thing you want to do. I mean, it's very easy when you're in a situation like Maine where you're playing conference games on the weekends, and for Collar's situation, he throws last Saturday, and then he has a whole week off before he throws again. It's very easy to come out there, I think, and maybe not be as accurate early on in the games, and that hasn't been the case for him.
Tony Valone, the next batter for the Great Danes. He takes a fastball outside for ball 1. The next pitch, another fastball. Doesn't quite drop in there for Mike Collar, so it's 2-0 on Valone. Home plate umpire working in the short sleeves. He's a brave soul. First base umpire. All bundled up down there with gloves and a nice warm jacket. Collar gets a strike in there, so it's 2-1 to Tony Valone. Collar working quickly, the windup and the pitch, a swing and a miss. Big cut there by Valone. It's strike 2, so 2-2 to Valone. Valone leading the regulars for the Great Danes with a .390 batting average, has a home run and 21 RBIs. A right-handed hitter. Collar to the windup, and his fastball is too high, bounces in and out of the mitt of the catcher, Alan Picard. So another full count. Mike Collar went full on the final batter in the first. Eddie Scott retired him 1-3. Now the full count to Valone. Here's the windup and the pitch. It's hit on the ground foul. Fielder over there actually bobbled by John Mueller, head coach for the Great Danes in his 3rd season at the helm. Paul Kostakopoulos in his 6th season as the head man for the Maine Black Bears. So the count remains full to Tony Valone. Here's the 3-2 once again, and it's in there for called strike 3. Mike Collar picking up his first strikeout of the afternoon. Gets Valone looking.
Just the 11th time that Valone has struck out this year. That was his 83rd at-bat of the season. And just the 11th time he's gone down on strikes.
So Mike Collar has retired the first 5 Great Dane batters he has faced in this ball game. Here's number 6, Dan Schoonmaker. The first baseman swings and misses at the breaking pitch from Collar. 0-1 to Schoonmaker. Schoonmaker, the biggest power threat on this Great Dane team. 5 home runs, 33 RBIs. Check swing there, but the home plate umpire says he went around, so it's quickly 2 strikes to Schoonmaker. Schoonmaker's batting average is .299. Big right-hander from Scarborough winds, fires, and misses outside with the slider. 1-2 the count now to Schoonmaker.
Picard that time sitting up on the outside and trying to see if they couldn't get him to chase one out there.
Here's the 1-2 from Collar, slings it up there. Missing way outside this time. So the count is even to Schoonmaker, 2-2. Black Bears will play another game here today against Albany. Mike McDonald gets the start in that one. We'll have it for you on the eye. Fastball misses inside. And the count is full on Schoonmaker. So Collar had him 0-2. But Schoonmaker, showing a good eye up there, has worked the count full. The 3-2 from Collar. Hit on the ground towards Ferriggi at short. Stays down on the ball, guns to first, and Schoonmaker is retired. 1-2-3 once again for the Great Danes after 1.5. Maine on top of Albany, 1-0. The fans in attendance here, well bundled.
Picture perfect day if it wasn't for that wind.
That's picture perfect for us because we have the window down.
Yeah. Yes, we do. Otherwise, we'd be in big trouble. Wind blowing right straight at us.
First pitch by Croft here in a second is a breaking pitch that stays outside. Ball 1. 1-0 to Pat Tobin. Getting the start at first base. Had a nice doubleheader against Central Connecticut State on Wednesday. Has shared time with Jesse Carlton around the first base bag. Swings and foul tips the second pitch into the mid of the catcher Fred Estes. So it's 1-1 on Pat Tobin. Tobin batting .292, has a couple of round trippers and 13 RBIs. That's from the left side. Here's the pitch from Croft, and it's a fastball in there for strike 2. 1-2 to Tobin. On deck, the second baseman, Brett Roulette for the Black Bears. Maine leading the America East in batting average at .330. Second best team is Albany. They're batting .299. Here's a foul tip around the plate. And the count will remain 1-2 on the batter, Pat Tobin. Tobin from Pickering, Ontario. One of several Black Bears from north of the border. Several Maine players from the province of Ontario.
I'll tell you what, if he could go opposite field, he'd be in great shape. They're really shifting him over to the right.
Well, they're pitching him away, but that fastball misses from Croft. So we're even at 2-2. Albany is 5th in the conference, an ERA at 5.49. Fastball away from Croft, so the count is full on Pat Tobin. Happy to have you with us for Maine Black Bear Baseball. The Black Bears 23-11 overall. They're 5-3 in America East. One of 3 conference weekend series the Bears will host here at Mahaney Diamond. Off-speed pitch, swing and a miss by Tobin. He goes down swinging. The first strikeout in the game for Croft. 1 down for the Black Bears, and that'll bring up Brett Roulette. Roulette again started the season injured, did not play much at all on the southern swing for the Black Bears. Since they've come north, Roulette has gotten healthy, and he has been a spark plug for the Black Bears, batting .308. This is his 19th start of the season. Picks on the first pitch and fouls it to the backstop. He's down in the count 0-1. Roulette has played solid second base, has 19 RBIs in his 18 previous starts. So producing as well. Skies this one to left center field. Tough wind going over his Scott into left center field, and he makes the play in a medium depth left center for out number 2.
Yeah, well, I got under that one that time, and despite the wind, didn't really seem to hold it up too much, but it stayed up there quite a while, and center fielder was able to get over there and plenty of time to make the catch.
The flag in center field is starched right now, heading right towards us. You can actually feel the booth moving just a little little bit here, Clem. 2 down for the Black Bears. Mike LaVolpe, the center fielder, batting in the number 7 slot, takes a strike from the pitcher Adam Croft. LaVolpe, of course, has batted leadoff much of the season for the Black Bears. Breaking pitch, high and outside. 1-1 the count to Mike.
You should be used to the building shaking though after going through that earthquake in Vermont last weekend.
I was half asleep when that happened. There's a line drive. Did it get a piece of the pitcher's glove? Possibly, but it's bobbled by the shortstop, Joe Lamb, unable to make the play. It was kind of a soft line drive up the middle, kind of a changeup for the pitcher Croft. I believe it did tick off his mitt and get slightly redirected towards the shortstop Lamb. He then bobbled it, and LaVolpe is on at first safely.
Yeah, that did Croft, the pitcher, had to reach across his body with his glove, and went right off the end of it. The ball, which was going closer towards the second base bag, all of a sudden changed direction, and the shortstop Lamb had to go back the other way, and as he did, he didn't quite get there in time and was able to stop it, but wasn't able to get it in the glove. And it'll be good for Maine, because now they get a base runner here with 2 down.
Let's see if the Black Bears put LaVolpe in motion. Throw to first base by Croft. You've got some numbers on the catcher, Fred Estes there, Clem, that aren't too impressive.
No, the opponents have attempted 45 stolen bases, and out of those 45, Estes has only thrown out 4 of them.
Maine leading the conference in steals, as we said earlier, with 61. Another throw to first by Croft. Again, LaVolpe back, hit first, gets the right hand in on the base before the tag is applied. Mike Farigi, freshman from Belmore, New York. LaVolpe is holding. Here's a hard-hit ground ball past the shortstop Lamb on into left field. So some 2-out action here for the Black Bears. After the error by Lamb, a base hit by Farigi. Maine with runners at first and second. 2 down, and that'll give an RBI opportunity to Aaron Young.
Maine's come up with a couple of hits here already in the first couple of innings here that have just been out of the reach of those infielders, and enough so that they've been able to get through and allow the runners to get on base.
Farigi was batting .250 before that at bat. Aaron Young also batting .250. He takes an off-speed pitch in there for strike 1. 0-1 to Aaron Young. Has a couple of home runs, 15 RBIs, left-handed batter from Augusta, Maine. Here's the 0-1 from Croft. That's a breaking pitch. Doesn't drop in. It's ball 1. 1-1 to Young. LaVolpe, the runner at second base. Mike Farigi, the runner at first base. Speed on the base pass for the Black Bears. Some speed at the plate. In the person of Aaron Young. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Change up. It's in there for a strike. 1-2, the count to Young. Looks like the pitcher Croft features a fastball. Not a blazer. Has a decent breaking pitch and a pretty good changeup. Next pitch. That's a fastball that misses outside.
Croft wanted the corner that time. He's very disappointed. Kind of dropped his head on the call by the home plate umpire.
John Mueller, the head coach for the Great Danes, also wanted that pitch. Took a step or two out of the dugout. Don't know if that was just to get some sun or to let his feelings be known to the home plate umpire. Is a foul just outside the bag down the third baseline off the end of the bat of Aaron Young. So the count remains 2-2. Albany 17-21. That's their overall record. They're 5-7 in conference play. They split a 4-game series with Northeastern. Also split a 4-gamer with Hartford. And then last weekend lost 3 of 4 to Stony Brook. Here's another pitch, and that's a line drive just outside the bag at third. Just another foul off the bat of Aaron Young, so again, we'll have a 2-2 count.
Which cost you to spin out of the way of that one. I just missed him by about a foot and a half.
Croft to the set. His pitch to the plate, it's a curveball, and it's outside. Again, Croft wanted the call from the home plate umpire. Did not get it. So it's a full count now to Aaron Young. Runners will be off on the pitch, so a gapper by Young could easily score 2. Ritchie with above average speed at first. Instead, he hits one to the left side. The third baseman's going to bobble it and fake the throw to first. He'll hold on to the baseball. Pat Delaney. A late bad hop for Delaney. So that'll be the second error of the inning for the Great Danes.
And a smart play by Delaney, too, to hold on to that, because Aaron Young has some wheels, and he was getting down that first base line, and I think Delaney would have had to rush to throw, and then you risk throwing it away and letting a run score. And again, there are 2 outs, so they only need 1 more to go here, although they've had a little trouble getting it.
The Albany defense giving Maine an opportunity. Simon Williams up there with the bases juice, and he takes a slider on the outside corner for strike 1. Williams has been productive, 7 home runs, 30 RBIs. Had a triple his first time up. Slicing one down the right field line. Here's the next pitch. It's hit hard towards left field. Going over towards the line is the left fielder Fowley. Can't make the play. It falls in there. 2 runs will score. Throw to third. And out there will be Aaron Young. Close play at third base. Young with the head first slide. He is out. But it's going to be a 2-run single for Simon Williams. And now a discussion at home plate as Coach Mueller is saying the out was recorded at third base before the second run scored. And he's in a heated discussion with the home plate umpire, but looks like he's going to lose it. You can catch it at zoneradio.com on the IWZON internet. So we've played 2, and now to take us through the middle part of the ball game, I'll pass the baton to Clem Labrie.
All right, Jim, and Albany coming to bat here in the top of the third, and leading it off will be Pat Delaney, the third baseman. You'll look at the first pitch inside from Mike Collar. First at bat for Pat Delaney. He'll be followed by the number 8 and 9 batters, Fred Estes and Craig Fowley. The next pitch is going to get in there for called strike 1. So the count goes 1-1 now on Delaney. Mike Collar sets and fires. The next one's going to miss inside as Delaney has to back up out of the way. So the count will go 2-1.
Discussion went on for quite some time between John Mueller, the head coach for Albany, and the home plate umpire. Mueller looking for the out at third before the second run scored.
Next pitch, a swing and a miss, strike 2.
But he lost that argument, and it's a 2-run single for Simon Williams. So the Bears get some help from the Albany defense to plate 2 in the second. They lead 3-0.
Collar sets. The 2-2 pitch is going to miss upstairs. Delaney started to go after that, was able to hold back, and now has the full count. Delaney batting .241 on the season. Left-handed batter. The next pitch from Collar swung on. That's going to be hit to second. Willett goes over, makes the catch, and will throw to first for the out. Willett had to range over quite a ways to the first base bag, but was able to get there in time and make the good short throw to first base for the first out of the inning.
And a good range shown there by Brett Willett. Keene, New Hampshire. Range fire to his left, got in front of the baseball, and then an easy toss to Pat Tobin. And Mike Collar has retired the first 7 batters he's faced.
Fred Estes now the batter. Catcher for this Great Dane team. Batting .247 on the season. Swings at the first pitch. That's going to be popped up in the infield. It's a high pop-up. Coming in is Drapo, the third baseman, and he'll call everybody off and make the catch. However, that wind, again playing tricks as it kind of darted away from him toward home plate right at the last second, but was able to squeeze it about waist high and get the second out of the inning.
Yeah, 3 players originally converged on the baseball. The pitcher Collar, the shortstop Ferriggi, and the third baseman Drapo. Joe with a strong call, and the other 2 players backed off, and then a tough play made by the third baseman. Any pop fly or fly ball is going to be difficult here today.
Brings up the number 9 batter in the lineup now, Craig Farley. A left fielder in the game today for the Albany Great Danes, batting .308 on the season. 70 plate appearances. He'll swing at the next pitch, and that's going to be foul to the backstop. And the count will go 1-1. Strong wind here at Mahaney Diamond today. People in attendance. A decent crowd considering the cold temperatures and the strong wind. Chance to see the Black Bears here, though, and they don't get many opportunities. Next pitch will be fouled to the backstop. And so now, all of a sudden, Farley in the hole. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, he's a little guy, freshman, 5'8", 140.
Looking to see if he can't get the first hit of the game for Albany. Right-handed batter. Collar sets and fires. Next pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. And that'll be The second strikeout of the game for Mike Collar. The Black Bears get out of it here in the top half of the third card, followed by Mike Ross and Joe Drapo. Now Picard set to get into that left-handed batter's box, reached on a single in the first inning, and was stranded there. Also drove in the first run of the game, as Simon Williams had reached on a triple, and then Picard drove him in. He'll look at the first pitch from Croft, and that's going to miss outside, ball one.
Of course, Alan Picard had a 23-game hitting streak snapped last weekend against Vermont.
Next pitch is going to be hit, a bouncer to shortstop. Fielded there by Lamb, the throw on to first in time. And two pitches and one out here for the Maine Black Bears in their half of the third. That one just kind of right off the end of the bat, out to shortstop, and an easy play for Joe Lamb out there.
Certainly good to see Alan Picard back behind the plate. Gives Coach Costi much more flexibility with the batting order, but we should mention the freshman Aaron Izarek has done a great job behind the plate. Kind of a silver lining to the problem of not having Picard available behind the plate has been the development of Aaron Izarek, who Coach Costi has great hopes for in the future.
Mike Ross, the batter, he looks at the first pitch for a strike at the knees. Next one's going to bounce in the dirt. Ball one, so count 1-1 on Mike Ross, who reached on a walk back in the first and was left stranded as that inning came to an end. Croft sets and fires. That one's going to catch him at the knees, called strike two. So Mike Ross yet to swing the bat here and is now in the hole. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Mike Ross, kind of a streaky hitter throughout his career for the Maine Black Bears, has been up and down this season.
Next pitch misses outside, 2-2. And last year couldn't really find that consistency. He was in and out of the lineup quite often, and has really found a spot this year. Next one catches it on the outside corner, and Ross watches it go by for call strike 3. So Ross never swings the bat that time up, and he'll go down on strikes for the second out of the inning, and it'll also be the second strikeout of the game for Adam Croft. Brings up Joe Drapo now, the third baseman. Get into a double play his first at bat. First pitch misses outside, ball one. It's a line shot that he hit to Lamb at short, and they were able to double up Mike Ross. Next pitch, swing and a miss, strike two. Or strike one, I should say. 1-1 now the count on Drapo. Right-handed batter. Back at third base today. Now that Picard is back behind the plate, next pitch he'll swing and foul it to the first base dugout. Count now goes to 1-2. One good thing that Maine has had for them this year is that, first thing with Drapo is, you don't really lose much when he's back behind the plate. Next pitch, foul to the backstop. Count stays 1-2. But I think they like it much better when he's out there at third and you're able to get Picard behind the plate. One good thing, though, is even though Picard was out defensively, he was still able to bat, which was a big help for the Bears. Next one is going to jam him inside, but he goes around, and it'll be strike 3 at Mahaney Diamond. We move to the 4th inning of play. The Maine Black Bears with a 3-0 lead over Albany. Clem LeBrie, Jim Churchill along with you for game 1 of a doubleheader here today, as the Black Bears will play their first weekend series in conference play here at Mahaney Diamond. We go back to the top of the order for the 4th inning here. Matt Crudo, second baseman, will start things off, and he'll look at the first pitch down low for a ball. Crudo flew out to second base in his first at-bat. Right-handed batter will set. Next pitch is going to miss outside, ball 2.
You mentioned, Clem, the first home conference series. Of course, Maine played a couple of games against Colby and Husson last week here at Mahaney Diamond, picking up victories, but sure nice to be home for the Maine Black Bears.
Next pitch in there for a called strike. 2-1 now the count.
Maine 26-5 here at Mahaney Diamond the last 2+ seasons, and they've averaged about 376 in attendance.
Good chance for fans to see this team too. They'll be here for 3 straight weeks. Next pitch misses upstairs, ball 3.
I want to mention too, next weekend, 2 doubleheaders on Saturday and Sunday, 7-inning ball games. The following weekend, the schedule has changed somewhat for the Stony Brook series. They'll play Friday night here at 7 at Mahaney Diamond.
inside corner. Count now goes full.
We're scheduled to have a similar series against Stony Brook, 2 doubleheaders on Saturday and Sunday, but now they'll play Friday night at 7, have the doubleheader on Saturday, and then on Mother's Day, Sunday, this may be the reason for the change, Glenn, they'll play one game starting at 11 a.m.
Next pitch misses inside, ball 4, and that will be the first walk of the game issued by Mike Collar. So the leadoff man on for Albany here in the top of the 4th.
Now again, Mike Collar doesn't walk many batters, an excellent strikeout to walk ratio, 39-7 coming in, but here he walks the leadoff batter, all the momentum on the Maine side. The last thing Coach Costi wants to see is a free pass for the leadoff batter, Crudo.
Now brings up Joe Lamb, the shortstop. Grounded out to short his first time up. First pitch to him is going to miss outside, ball 1. Lamb this season batting .319 and has driven in 22 runs. Right-handed batter steps in there against Collar. Collar throws over to first. Diving back in is Crudo. Just ahead of the throw. Reminder coming up after this one, we'll have Boston Red Sox baseball for you here on the Sports Zone, WZON, and Game 2 of the doubleheader, you can go to zoneradio.com and click on the IWZON internet. Next pitch, we'll get the outside corner call, strike 1.
Red Sox winning 4-2 last night. The Yankees keeping pace, winning 7-1. Some big dope picked up his 3rd win of the season. Now 3-2.
I don't think we even have to use a name. Throw over to first by Collar. When we talk Yankees pitching, we say big dope.
It's going to collapse.
Some point, because they have Andy Pettit on the DL now, too. It's really help them. Again, Collar throws over, and again, Crudo dives in there just ahead of the tag.
Good quick moves to first base by Collar. Certainly doing his job, keeping Crudo close.
Crudo so far this year is 4-5. This time again, Collar throws over. 3rd straight time, and Tobin gets the tag down right on the hand before it got into the bag. Crudo not happy. He'll argue it. And now head coach John Mueller will run over from that third base coach's box to talk about it with the umpire, but Mike Collar gets the runner off the bag, and so now bases will be empty, and there'll be 1 out.
Now, Crudo thought he was safe. He just kind of casually got back up and stood standing on the base, but meanwhile, the umpire in the middle of the diamond was coming up with a right hand and firing away, and that's the first out here. And John Mueller, who had a decent vantage point from the third base coach's box, disagreed with the call and has a token conversation with the first base umpire, but out number 1.
Now the pitch to Lamb will be fouled over the first base dugout, so the count now 1-2 on the Albany shortstop. You would have thought he'd learned his lesson. The first 2 times he threw over, it was close. The 3rd time, it was really close. And then that 4th time, he was able to get him. Collar sets and fires. That one's going to be hit. A slow roll to short. Ferriggi comes up with it. The throw to first in time, and they're 2 away in the top of the 4th inning.
Mike Ferriggi getting the start at short here in game number 1 in place of Mark Likely, the regular shortstop for the Black Bears. Now, Likely has had a bit of a problem with a deep thigh bruise a few weeks ago. I don't know if that's the issue here today or Coach Costa just giving him a break here in game number 1, but Mike Ferriggi, a solid replacement.
Number 3 batter in the lineup now is Eddie Scott. The first pitch to him will miss down low, ball 1. Scott hit a shot right back to Collar in that first inning, and Collar was able to get him out. A ball that kind of popped up, and Collar got the glove up in front of the face just in time. Now he'll lay down the bunt. It'll roll foul down the third base line. And now Scott will have a 1-1 count as he heads back to home plate. Should he get on, Jake Tom stands in the on-deck circle.
Mike Collar has faced the minimum number of Great Danes batters here through 3 2/3. No hits for Albany, so Eddie Scott in the number 3 slot. Don't often see a number 3 batter try to lay down a bunt, but just trying to create something on offense for Albany at this
pitch from Collar is going to be on that outside corner for a call, strike 2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Eddie Scott. Right-handed batter steps back in there. Collar sets and fires. Next one hit right back to him. It goes off his knee. Bounces to Drapo at third. He won't make a throw as Scott was getting down the line. And he'll be safe down at first. And that ball came right back. That's the second time today that Scott has hit one right back at the pitcher. In the first inning, he hit one that kind of stayed on the ground to the last second, then it popped up. And I thought was going to hit Collar in the face, but he was able to get the glove up and make the catch in time. That one right back at him, and it goes off the outside of that right knee and bounced to Drapo, who by the time he got to it didn't have a chance to make a play. Coach Costi out to look at Mike Collar, who says feels okay, and he'll take one warm-up pitch here and is all set to go. That was a hard shot right back at him, though.
I think fortunately, Clem, it was just a little bit below the right knee, kind of on the right side of the calf, the fleshy part, and immediately ricocheted towards Drapo at third, and rightly so. Drapo held on to the baseball, and second base runner for Albany.
Jake Toms now the batter. First pitch to him will miss outside, ball 1. That was the first hit of the game for Albany here.
Albany again trailing 3-0. Clean-up batter up there, but they do have some excellent speed at first base, and Eddie Scott, he has 12 stolen bases.
Thrower at first and diving back in is Scott.
Of course, Albany may be a little more tentative on the base pass after seeing Collar's excellent move to first when he finally picked off Crudo in this inning.
1-0 pitch will be fouled to the backstop. First strike here on Toms. And the count goes 1-1. So Collar went 3 2/3 innings without giving up a hit. And you kind of hope that's not the only one they get on him today, because that's a tough one to give up there. And off the leg. Throw over to first, and diving back in is Scott. One and one is the count on Toms, designated hitter for Coach John Mueller's Great Danes. Collar sets and fires, swing and a miss, strike 2.
Good change up there by Mike Collar. Took something off it, also put it in an excellent location. Just kind of fell off the table as it approached home plate.
Collar gives a look at the runner at first. Comes to the set, now he'll come to the plate. A swing and a miss, strike 3. And after giving up the first hit of the game, Mike Collar gets out of it with his 3rd strikeout of the game. And so for Albany in the top half of the 4th, they'll get 1 hit. No main errors, 1 left on base for the Albany Great Danes. Tobin struck out his first time out. Left-handed batter getting the start at first here in game number 1. He'll look at the first pitch, and that one's going to miss. Down low for a ball. Plate umpire almost couldn't figure out which one to call on that one. Started a strike call, and then flinched just a little bit. Next pitch from Croft. That one's going to miss outside. Ball 2.
This Albany team, I believe, was picked to finish last in the preseason poll by America East coaches. I think they've surprised some people. 5-7 in the conference, and
next pitch in there for a call strike.
A couple of problems defensively today, but certainly Croft has pitched very well for Albany through the first 3. And they've only been able to muster 1 hit against the Black Bears, but they come in with a .299 team batting average, so I think Albany's a little better than people thought.
Next pitch is going to be fouled right off the third base side. Almost got a piece of Mahaney clubhouse. So the count 2-2 on the Maine first baseman. Coming into the game, batting .292. Croft sets and fires. That one will miss inside as Tobin backed out of the way. Strong wind here in Mahaney Diamond today. A very cold day. Feels like football weather. In fact, the UMaine football team is out scrimmaging today as their spring practice continues. They got 1 more week of that. Next pitch will miss outside. Ball 4. And so the leadoff man will get on for the Maine Black Bears as Tobin takes the walk and heads down to first base.
Albany got their leadoff man on in the fourth inning via the walk. Likewise, the Maine Black Bears, Pat Tobin drawing the base on balls. And again, Tobin not blessed with great speed, but we'll see if the Black Bears try to create something offensively with Roulette up there, who has very good bat control.
But Roulette throw to left his first time up. Right-handed second baseman, batting .308 on the season. Croft gives a look to Tobin at first, now comes to the plate, and that one's going to miss upstairs, and the count goes 1-1.
Tell you what, John Mueller, head coach for Albany, not happy with the umpiring through the first 3.5 years. A couple of conversations already, and not happy with the strike zone of the home plate umpire.
Throw to first, not in time as Tobin dives back in. Their coach John Mueller played professional baseball. The next pitch to Roulette. That's going to be hit through the second base hole as the second baseman Crudo was running over to cover second. Tobin will round second and head for third in there. With a single will be Brett Roulette, and Maine, with nobody out, will have runners at the corners.
We thought the Black Bears and Coach Costi might try something with Tobin on at first, and big hole on the right side of the infield. The Black Bears go with a hit and run. Tobin on the move, and again, good bat control demonstrated by Brett Roulette. Gets the ground ball through the vacated right side on into right field, so now a good first and third situation for the Black Bears, and Michael Volpe coming up.
Volpe reached on an error his first at-bat. Had been the leadoff batter for the Black Bears for much of the season, but now moved down. He'll swing at the first pitch. Fair ball down the third baseline. Coming across to score is Tobin. Rounding second and headed for third, where he'll hold up is Roulette. And in with an RBI double is Michael Volpe, and the Black Bears take a 4-0 lead.
I'll tell you what, Clem, managers like 3-run home runs. They like strikeouts by their pitchers, but Coach Costi's got to be really happy with the way this inning has developed. First of all, his first batter up, Pat Tobin, shows good patience at the plate, draws the base on balls. Coach Costi puts the hit and run on. His players execute. Brett Roulette pushing the ball to the right side, first and third. And you get a scoring opportunity, then Michael Volpe taking the outside pitch down the line.
Mike Ferriggi now the batter. A look at the first pitch upstairs. Ball one. Had a single his first time up. That was just a scorcher down that third baseline. And it stayed right close to the line. In fact, it hit the chalk after it crossed the third base bag. Rolled out into left field. Next pitch is going to miss outside ball two. So Maine with runners at second and third. Nobody down. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning. The next pitch is going to catch that outside corner. Call strike one on Mike Ferriggi.
Good chance for the Black Bears here with no outs, second and third, to really break this one open.
Croft's next pitch is going to be hit back up the middle. Fielded by the second baseman, Crudo. He'll throw to first in time, but Brett Roulette will make his way down home. The fifth run of the game scores for the Maine Black Bears, and moving up to third is Michael Volpe.
And again, Clem, through 4 batters in this inning, Coach Costi must just be beaming down in the third base coach's box. Again, excellent execution by Maine. They didn't get the base hit by Ferriggi, but he pushed it to the right side with the infield back. That allowed the run to score from third base, and it was not only productive from that aspect, but it also moved Volpe up to third with less than 2 outs.
Aaron Young now, he'll lay down the bunt, down the third baseline. It's fair, and the third baseman Delaney can't handle it. Well, Volpe will score. It's 6-0 Maine, and a RBI bunt single that time for Aaron Young.
Well, if Coach Costi was beaming with pride before that batter, I'm surprised he's not jumping for joy, because through 5 batters now, the Black Bears have executed just about everything that Coach Costi could have asked for here in this fourth inning. Puts on the squeeze play, coming down from third. Volpe with great speed. Aaron Young executes, puts the bunt down on the ground, well placed. Another run for Maine.
And we go back to the top of the order now with Simon Williams. First pitch to him is going to be down low for a ball. So with 1 down, Maine leading at 6-0. A runner at first is Young. Simon Williams at the plate. It's 2 for 2. Young goes off on the pitch. He'll slide in there safely with a stolen base. And so now Maine with another runner in scoring position as Aaron Young makes his way down to second base. And for Young, he's now perfect 7 for 7 in that stolen base category, as Coach John Mueller will now take a walk out to the mound to talk things over with his pitcher Adam Croft.
Well, Adam Croft is down 6-0 in this ball game. Really has not pitched all that badly. His defense let him down in the second inning. Into a couple of unearned runs in that frame for the Maine Black Bears.
Simon Williams will lace one foul on that first base side, just off the end of the Albany dugout. And the count now 2-1 to Simon Williams.
Case here in the second inning, in the fourth inning, the leadoff walk to Tobin got things off on a bad note for Croft, and it's been all downhill since then, but great execution for the Maine Black Bears.
Next pitch will be a fastball down the middle of the plate for call strike 2, 2-2. Simon Williams has had a very good day so far. Hit a leadoff triple to start the game and scored a run, and then hit a 2 RBI single in the second. Next pitch will be a swing and a miss, strike 3, so Williams will go down on strikes, the fourth strikeout of the game for Adam Croft, and there's now 2 away in Maine's half of the fourth inning.
Really, Croft having most of his troubles with the bottom part of the Maine order has actually worked quite well to the middle part of the order. He's got Joe Drapeau twice. Simon Williams has a couple of hits from the top.
Alan Picard now, he'll be first pitch swing to second base, fielded by Crudo. His throw takes the first baseman Schumacher off the bag, but he's able to recover in time, and that'll end the inning for the Maine Black Bears. But they come up with 3 hits in the inning, 3 more runs, and no errors for Albany. After 4 complete at Mahaney Diamond, the Black Bears 6, and Albany nothing. And it'll be the number 5, 6, and 7 batters due up for the Great Danes here in the 5th. Tony Valone, Dan Schoonmaker, and Pat Delaney. Mike Collar back on the mound for his 5th inning of work, has given up just 1 hit, no runs so far in game 1 of today's doubleheader. First pitch to Valone will miss outside, ball 1. See how quickly he can get back in. This had to sit in the dugout for a little while as that 4th inning went on, and this cold weather, wonder how long it'll take, but the next pitch is going to be in there for a call strike 1. Sure, they got the Paul Kalina, the trainer down there, probably has the old hot water bottles going and everything. Caller sets and fires, swung on, it's going to be a bouncer to short, fielded by Farigi. The throw to first in time, and there's 1 away here on the top of the 5th.
Again, Mike Collar inducing a lot of ground balls in this ball game, and unlike the Great Dane infield, the Maine infield has been very solid, fielding the ground balls off the bats of the Albany batters. Albany gets to go to a historic Centennial Field next weekend, Clem, and my sentiments are good for them.
First pitch to Dan Schoonmacher is going to miss high and inside, ball 1. I think I heard you say last week while you were there in Vermont that was it historic Centennial Field just means old.
Yeah, old and crappy.
Next pitch is going to be a fastball across the plate for call strike 1. 1-1 now the count on Schoonmacher. Next pitch from Collar, it's going to be popped up to short. Farigi will take a couple of steps back on the edge of the outfield grass and make the catch for the second out of the inning.
Well, Mike Collar doing a nice job working both sides of the plate, working away with his slider, curveball, down low with his changeup, and then busting these Albany hitters up and in with a fastball as he did there. That time to Schoonmaker, right in off the fist, a jam job and an easy play for Mike Farigi at shortstop.
Pat Delaney on the batter, grounded out to second his first time up, and first pitch to him is going to miss down low, ball 1.
Maine certainly happy to get out of Centennial Field. Not a good weekend. Of course, Alan Picard's 23-game hitting streak was snapped. A 10-game winning streak for Maine was snapped.
Next pitch on the outside corner, strike 1.
Mike Collar suffered his first America East loss last weekend.
I'll be glad they don't have to see Vermont again this year. Next pitch is going to be chopped foul on the first base side, and the count will go to 1-2 on Pat Delaney. Of course, what hurts is right now Maine and Vermont tied for the lead in America East, and should they stay this way right through the end, by virtue of taking 3 out of 4, Vermont would have first tiebreaker there.
Of course, Maine with the best offensive team in the conference, but good pitching often stops good hitting, and the Catamounts feature a number of solid pitchers, and they held the Bears in check last weekend and took 3 of 4.
2-2 now the count on Delaney. The pitch from Caller is going to miss upstairs. Took a while to make the call that time, but
let's see. Simon Williams, Joe Draper, Mike Ferriggi, Mike Volpe, Brett Willett, Mike Caller, they were all hit it well in Albany towards the main dugout.
West Caller will have to try it again. The 3-2 pitch is swung on. That's going to be a shot out to right field. Ross is there, and he'll squeeze it and make the catch for the final out of the inning. Another 1-2-3 inning for Mike Caller. And once again, no Clem LeBrie, Jim Churchill along with you as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. And the Black Bears will start it off with Mike Ross at the plate, designated hitter in the game today for the Black Bears, and was a strikeout victim his last time up, reached on a walk back in the first. And he'll see if he can't get things going here for the Black Bears. They scored 3 runs in the last inning. They also got 2 runs in the second and 1 in the first. First pitch to Ross is going to be a ground ball. Hit to second base, fielded by Crudo. Throw to first in time. 1 pitch, 1 down here in the bottom of the 5th.
Of course, we want to remind our fans these America East doubleheader games are 7-inning ball games, so moving to the latter part of this game, Maine in good position. Pick up their 24th win of the season. 23-11 coming in, 5-3 in America East play. Good crowd on hand, despite the cold temperatures.
Joe Drapo now at the plate. He'll swing at the first pitch and foul it over that first base dugout.
Many fans with their headsets on, and we assume they're listening to AM 620. If they want to turn around and wave to us, we'll know they are.
Next pitch to Drapo will be across the plate, fastball for called strike 2. Coming up after this one, we'll get you to Boston Red Sox baseball. They're just going to the bottom of the first, no score there. Offsets and fires. That one's going to be hit high in the air. Shallow center field. Going back is the second baseman, Crudo. And he'll drop it. It was in his glove. Did he hang on long enough? No. Home plate umpire giving the safe call. And so Drapo is going to be in there safely at first. And my guess is we'll probably see John Mueller coming out of the dugout. And we do. Here he comes.
Right on cue.
I think he's going to go out and talk to the umpire out in the field. The home plate umpire is the one that went out and made the call.
Usually it's the case if you're going to the throwing hand, if you're transferring from the glove to the throwing hand, it is an out. In that case, the home plate umpire is saying the throwing hand never got on the baseball and it just went out of the glove before the throwing hand made contact. So Drapo will be on at first safely after the 3rd error by the Great Danes.
So John Mueller will now make his way off the field, and Joe Drapo will stand at first. Joe Drapo started to run back to the dugout, and everybody started hollering to him, saying, "Well, hey, stay right where you are." So that'll be the 3rd error of the game on Albany. And the batter now will be Pat Tobin. Tobin struck out his first time up, reached on a walk and scored a run in the 4th. So with 1 down, Maine with a runner at first. That's Drapo. He'll take the lead. Pitch from Croft. Tobin swings. It's a bouncer to second. Fielded by Crudo. Throw to second in time. The relay to first also in time. An inning-ending double play for the Albany Great Danes, and so despite the error, it ends up not hurting. No runs, 1 error, and nobody left on baseball. Welcome back to Maine Diamond Clem LeBrie. Jim Churchill along with you. The University of Maine with a 6-0 lead over the University of Albany, and as we go to the top of the 6th inning, we'll turn things back over to Jim Churchill.
All right, thank you very much, Clem. Mike Caller back to the hill for the Black Bears. Just 1 hit given up by the big right-hander. And he throws the first pitch here in the 6th inning to Fred Estes. It's Estes, Farley, and Cruz Crudo. 8, 9, and 1 batters for the Great Danes due up. Now the 1-0 pitch from Mike Collar, slings it up there. It's too low, ball 2. Collar in this ball game, again, just the one base hit. That actually off the body of Mike Collar. Infield single by Eddie Scott, back in the 4th. 2-0 pitch, a fastball up high for ball 3. Collar has struck out 3 Albany batters and has walked 1. That walk also coming back in the 4th. 3-0 pitch is right down the middle for strike 1. Maine on top, 6-0. Collar looking for his 5th win of the season. He's 4-2 coming into today's action. The windup and the breaking pitch is in the strike zone, and a full count to the batter Fred Estes. Estes, his lone other appearance at the plate, popped up to the third baseman Joe Drapo. Now Estes calls time. The wind again whipping in from center field. May have a particle of dust in the eye of Fred Estes. Now he hits one on the ground. Right to Friggi at shortstop. Straightens and throws on to Pat Tobin. 1 up, 1 down for the Great Danes here in the 6th.
Friggi's had to make quite a few plays over there at short today, and has done a very nice job starting in that shortstop spot in game 1.
5 assists for Mike Friggi, the freshman from Belmore, New York. Now with 1 down for Albany, that'll bring up Craig Farley, the number 9 batter for the Great Danes. Left fielder, the diminutive Craig Farley, hits one high to the right side. Oh, nice hop. The last hop came up nicely. Brett Willetts made the easy play on to Pat Tobin so quickly. 2 down for the Great Danes. This game just cruising along. We started at noontime. Coming up on 20 minutes past the 1 o'clock hour.
And we alluded to it in the last inning that Mike Collar's did a nice job today getting Albany to hit a lot of balls on the ground. In fact, I think they've only hit 1 ball out of the infield through the first 5+ innings now.
9 ground ball outs for Mike Collar out of 17 possible outs for the Great Danes. Has the 3 strikeouts. First pitch to the number 1 hitter for Albany, Matt Crudo. Takes a ball outside. Crudo 0 for 1. Got the leadoff walk in the 4th, and then was picked off by Collar after about 4 throws over to first base. Hits this one on the ground, right to Pat Tobin. Fields it cleanly, steps on the bag. 1, 2, 3 for Mike Collar. The Great Danes are retired. We've played 5.5. The Maine Black Bears in control on top of the Great Danes 6-0 here on the Sports Zone Black Bear Network. On the IWZON Internet, go to zoneradio.com to catch all the action. Black Bears in control of this one, leading 6-0 against Albany, and Adam Croft, who really has not pitched all that badly. Brett Willett, the first batter here in the 6th for Maine. He's ahead in the count 2-0. Willett on the afternoon, 1 for 2. He and Pat Tobin got things started in the 4th. Tobin drew a leadoff walk. There's a strike in there to Willett. 2-1 the count to Maine's second baseman. Tobin drew the walk, and then a hit and run executed very well by the Black Bears as Willett drove one to the right side. Here he laces one down the right field line. It's going to fade foul. Willett taking a shot at that right field line. Of course, Simon Williams, the first batter for Maine in this ball game, drove one into a similar area, but his landed fairly. Williams ended up with a triple, and Alan Picard drove him home with a base hit to the right side. That was the first run for the Maine Black Bears. Here's the 2-2 from Croft. Breaking pitch hit hard, and Coach Costi has to dance out of the way of that one. It's a foul ball, so the count remains 2-2. So Maine had the run in the first. They got 2 more in the second. A couple of Albany errors playing a key role there. 2 RBIs for Simon Williams. He had his second hit of the game, a 2-run single. Here's a hard hit ball up the middle, towards the middle, fielded though by the shortstop Lamb. He fires on to first. Relatively close play there, but Willett is retired. 6-3, 1 down for Maine. That'll bring up Mike LaVolpe. He had a 2-run double. A 1-run double back in the 4th inning. Maine scored 3 in the 4th. 1 second. When we were talking about the fourth inning, where Tobin did the leadoff walk. Willette had the hit and run single. Then a double by LaVolpe played at Tobin. First pitch to LaVolpe is a ball. And the Black Bears got another RBI on a fielder's choice by Farigi. And an RBI single by Aaron Young. Here's a ball sliced down the left field line. It's going to be a fair ball. Rounding first is LaVolpe, and he's going to steam into second base, slide in head first, and he's there safely with his second two-bagger of the ball game.
Yeah, that ball kind of hung up there a little bit too. Came down, a long run that time for Craig Farley, the left fielder. But when he finally got to it, he made a great throw to second base, but the wheels of Michael LaVolpe was able to beat that out.
So one in the first, two more in the second, three in the fourth. Maine trying to put some more up on the board. Of course, Albany has not scored in this game, 6-0 Maine. Our scoring recap is brought to you by EBS Building Supplies with 10 locations from Calais to Rockland. From roof to basement, indoors and out, EBS can do just ask. Next batter for the Black Bears, Mike Farigi, right-handed batter, freshman shortstop. Getting the start here in game number one, takes a fastball down and in. 1-0 the count to Farigi. He is 1 for 2. Had the RBI in the fourth on the fielder's choice. Singled and scored in the second. Here fouls went on the ground right to Coach Crossley down in the third base coach's box. It's 1-1 on Farigi. Mike LaVolpe, the runner at second base, so plenty of speed out there for the Black Bears. Adam Croft, the right-hander, has given up 8 hits. Comes to the plate, and the ball is skied foul down the right side, and it's going to get into the bleachers. And that'll be strike 2 on Farigi. Croft came in with a 4-4 mark, a 5.50 ERA. The score says 6-0. A couple of those runs are unearned for the Black Bears. 2 unearned runs coming in the second inning. So Croft has not pitched all that badly. They've thrown 75 pitches through the first 5 innings. It's pretty efficient. Here Farigi hits one on the ground to his counterpart for the Great Danes, Joe Lamb at short. And Lamb throws on to Shoemaker, and that is out number 2 for the Black Bears.
Albany's really settled down here in the field the last couple of innings. 3 errors so far today, and not necessarily throwing the ball. They've had a hard time to watch the ball get into the glove. It's been the fielding that's really hurt them so far in this game. First pitch to Aaron Young is a breaking pitch that grabs the inside corner. It's 0-1 to Aaron Young. Young had an RBI single in the fourth. He is 1 for 2 in this ball game. Also had a stolen base in the fourth. Hits this one on the ground to the right side. Fielded cleanly by Crudo, and he fires on to first for the third out. So the Black Bears are retired without scoring.
CON.
Jim Churchill, Clem Labrie from Haney Diamond. The Maine Black Bears on top of Albany in this one, 6-0. Game 1 of a twin bill. We'll have the second game on the IWZON Internet, and the first pitch here in the 7th inning by Mike Collar to the shortstop Joe Lamb is a called strike. Fastball right down the pike from Collar. Here's his second delivery, and that's a slider that gets the black on the outside part. 0-2 to Joe Lamb. Lamb is 0 for 2 in this game, has grounded out to the shortstop Mike Farigi both times. Another breaking pitch misses outside. It's 1-2 to Lamb. Another excellent performance by the sophomore Mike Collar. Just 1 hit. He has struck out 3 Great Dane batters, has induced a lot of ground balls. Here's another one right to Farigi, and he fires a strike to Pat Tobin. 1 up, 1 down for the Great Danes. Another nice play over there by Farigi. Nice strong throw. I tell you what, you look at the depth of this Maine team, something they haven't had in the last few years. When you got Farigi out there short, you still have Reichley, who's just a sophomore, sitting on the bench in this game, and obviously a very talented shortstop in his own right. Joe Drapo's out there at third, which means Matt Reynolds is sitting in the dugout, another very talented player. And he's just a sophomore. Very young and very deep Maine Black Bear team. Ball 1 to Eddie Scott. He has the lone hit in this game for Albany. It was a hard-hit ground ball off the right leg of Mike Collar. That came in the fourth. Here he lays down a bunt, fielded by Drapo, throw to first, and safe is Scott. And he has now 2 hits in this game. The lone 2 hits for Albany. Nice job there by by Scott. Well placed. Actually, Graypo made a nice play at third, but the throw just a tad too late. Eddie Scott, of course, with good speed going down the line. He's on at first safely. 2 for 3 for Scott, and that takes us to the DH slot. Lead-up batter, Jake Toms. Toms is 0 for 2.
Time Picard had to dig the ball out of the dirt. He must have broke the strings of the glove, too, because he just had to run in and make an exchange there. That was a close play, though. Beat it by maybe half a step.
And Tobin getting the start at first base. 1 on, 1 out after the bunt single by Eddie Scott. Shoemaker, left-handed batter, Tom's left-handed batter, takes a ball outside. Maine with a run in the first, 2 in the second, 3 more in the third. 6 runs, 8 hits, no errors for Maine. No runs, 2 hits, 3 errors for Albany. The windup and the pitch by Collar is fouled back to our left. Over the stands here at Mahaney Diamond, the crowd on hand, good crowd, well bundled. Wind blowing very hard and directly in from center field in the faces of the fans here at Mahaney Diamond. Collar with the set, looks to first, now comes to the plate, takes a little off, and Toms is way out in front, strike 2.
One thing for the fans say, they won't worry about getting sunburned, but may get the wind burn before this one's over.
No question. The winds that we have the window down, so we're fairly comfortable here at Mahaney Diamond. Swing and a miss on a high fastball by Toms, went for one out of the strike zone, so he goes down swinging for the second time in this game. That's the 4th strikeout for Mike Collar, and the Great Danes are down to their final out. They trail 6-0. It's all up to Tony Vallone, the right fielder for the Great Danes. He's 0 for 2, called out on strikes in the second. Mike Collar has walked just one batter in this game. Had a very good sinking fastball, a lot of ground ball outs for the Great Danes. Here's a curveball and a big hack and a miss by Vallone. Collar again ahead in the count. Maine looking to improve to 6-3 in America East play. Albany loses, they'll be 5-8. That fastball misses outside. 1-1 the count to Vallone. Maine, of course, will be hosting the America East tournament here at Mahaney Diamond later on in May. Black Bears play very well at home. Here's a pitch, sky towards left field. Actually going back is Ferriggi, just off the skin of the infield, and he makes the play. It's the final out of the ball game, and the Maine Black Bears do pick up win number 6 in America East play. They're now 6-3. Mike Collar improves his record to 5-2 as he picks up the 2-hit shutout win. Another complete game for the big righty from Scarborough. 6-0 the final. We'll be back with a post-game report here on the Sports Zone Black Bear Network. To Mahaney Diamond for the post-game report. A 6-0 Maine Black Bear win here in game number 1 over the Albany Great Danes. Maine improves their record to 24-11. They're 6-3 in America East. Albany falls to 5-8 in the conference. They are 17-22 overall. Mike Collar gets the win. He is now 5-2. The losing pitcher, Adam Croft for Albany, he is now 4-5. Well, let's get to our our drive of the game, and it came off the bat of Mike Volpe. He put the game pretty much out of reach the way Collar was pitching in the 4th with this hit.
He'll swing at the first pitch. Fair ball down the third baseline. Coming across to score is Tobin. Rounding second and headed for third where he'll hold up is Willette. And in with an RBI double is Michael Volpe, and the Black Bears take a 4-0 lead.
That's a drive of the game brought to you by Bangor Chrysler Dodge, the way things should be. Our player of the game, Mike Collar. Our Midas Service Center player of the game picks up his 5th win, as we said, a complete game shutout. Struck out 4, walked just 1 Great Dane batter, induced 11 ground ball outs. Mike Collar, very impressive once again. Mike McDonald will pitch in game number 2 for the Black Bears. Our Midas Service Center player of the game, Midas Service Center with locations in Bangor and Ellsworth. Go safely, go Midas. So we'll have game number 2 for you on the IWZON internet. Go to zoneradio.com to pick up all the action there. On AM 620 WZON, we're going to take you to Red Sox baseball. Currently Hawks leading in that one over Tampa Bay 1-0. The Bruins at the Fleet Center trailing Montreal 1-0 in the first period. Just about 6 minutes left to go in the first period there. Well, Clem-Labrie, very quick ball game. Good effort by the Black Bears.
Quick moving, players getting the game over quickly, getting back in the clubhouse to warm up quickly before game 2.
You think that was their incentive?
I think so, yeah.
All right, we'll again have game 2 on the IWZON Internet. Thanks to Pat Speckart back at the station. Clem-Labrie, for a job well done. I'm Jim Churchill.